Lara Erdely, I've never heard the term pelvic floor basket.
It's the biggest muscle mass in the skeletal system, and the pelvic floor supports every movement that we make.
Is it bigger than my thigh muscles?
It is the largest muscle mass in the skeletal system. If you think about, where your legs join, going through from the pubic bone through to the coccygeus, and it's holding up not only your reproductive organs, but it's holding up all of your body organs. So it's really got
it's at the base.
A lot of work to do, and nobody uses it. That's why we've got
at the base of your torso, yeah?
That's right at the centre of your being. The Taoists call it the centre of your soul. If you think about the 4 interwoven sets of muscles that run through, let's say from your legs through the middle, and then running right through. If you just think about it for a little while, you can see, that basket has a lot of work to do, and you can actually move those muscles, as I said, independently. So you can learn to move left, right, back, middle and front, etc., which our leaders in incontinence don't teach at this stage, but I do.
Now, I'm just trying to get my head around where this muscle mass is, When I first heard I was about 16 when I heard the term pelvic floor exercises. My brother's partner was about to have a baby, so she was told about pelvic floor exercises, and I didn't know what that meant. I thought it was you do some exercise for your pelvis and you have to do it while you're on the floor.
No, God. And you know what? A lot of people are teaching, a lot of Pilates, a lot of yoga instructors, they are teaching lying down on the floor. And, initially I teach sitting and then I teach standing, because this is when we really need our muscles to support ourselves. And I really work a lot with the dark matter inside the body, like learning how to be embodied. And, when I started this work, I couldn't believe that you can't move the left, the right, the back, the middle and the front. I just thought that was hocus pocus. But in actual fact, once you start doing the work, you can move your muscles like moving your hands. And we only have to cast our minds over to the ladies that are forced to whore for a living in Asia. Now, we all can have a laugh about the fact that they can shoot paraphernalia from out of their private parts across the room to the onlooking audience.
And actually at that point, it's not a very private part, is it?
Not in those instances. And they're forced to whore for a living, which is really bad. But
you said something on the phone about them being, in those sex shows, they're able to lift 20 kilos with their internal vaginal muscles.
That's right.
Have you seen that in person?
I haven't seen it in person. I can't say that's not something that...
You don't sort of frequent those sort of shows in Bangkok?
I don't. But I've got a lot of students that come to me and they go, oh, yeah, I've seen that. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I even have...
Have you ever looked on YouTube for anything?
No, it's just not my nature. But, I just certainly don't, whatever floats your boat, And the funny thing is, even though I don't find that interesting for me to look at, I wrote a book last year on internal weightlifting, which is the only book in the world that actually teaches you how to do what they're doing over there in the bars of Thailand. But I don't spend my time doing that.
You don't spend your time in the bars of Thailand or looking at the bars?
Some of my students are in their 60s and they don't come to me for any incontinence issues. They go, you know what, I want to be able to do that. And I'm like, well, you've come to the right place. And like I said, it's only through dialogue, and we have a lot of fun in our classes, that you can actually get to be doing that at any age.
I want to remember 2 things. There's so much to talk about and we are going to run out of time. But first up, we've got a giveaway, and it's a book and it's an egg for practicing that muscular contraction
it's a
for
jade
women.
Stone. It's called a dragon pearl. It's made of jade, and the book itself is about how to use that stone. But if you're a woman who thinks that you don't want to use a dragon pearl inside yourself, and you get this book, you will still learn how to move all the different hemispheres without using the stone. But you can never compare to a woman who uses weights in her internal practices as far as mastering, trickery in the bedroom is concerned. But you can always have exceptional sexual fitness with or without the use of stones.
It's a book called Enchantress, and it's by Lara Erdely.
Yep, that's right.
And your website?
My website is pelvicfloorstrength.com.au.
And although the prize is a little bit geared towards women, that's okay. I think there's more listeners to this show who are women than men, actually.
Yeah, and I do give this book to men. Like I said to you in the break, I don't get a lot of men coming to me. The men that come to me are severely debilitated. They've been through the system, they've seen the urologist, and they still, it's a little bit different because women wet their knickers because we have a heavy uterus and we have bad bladder habits. And men, when they're in their 40s and 50s, they dribble unbeknownst to themselves because their prostate swells. So women typically wet their knickers and men typically can't wee, but then they dribble unbeknownst to themselves when they get a little bit older, and they have a lot of prostate issues. And, I think on that note, we should probably move on to sexual fitness, because there's a lot of things in sex that really help the prostate. And it's a bit of a running joke in my classes that I say, if you've got a partner and you've forgotten to do your pelvic floor exercises today, you don't need to lay back and think of England. You should just jump in the bedroom or wherever it is. Having a lot of sex is extremely good for your prostate, and it's extremely good for pelvic floor exercises for women. Although, in saying that, I would say to a man, it's okay if your female partner has a lot of orgasms, but for you yourself, you really should learn discipline, and it's way better for men to have lots of sex with a little bit of emission, or, so, and I like to, get women a little bit more dominant in the bedroom. I like to get women a little bit more orgasmic, and I like to say to women, listen to your man wee, because your man's probably not going to come to me, and if he's, not doing the power wee in the loo, then you can say, honey, there's something to work on there that's going to help your prostate. And I'd say to every woman, get your man to have lots of sex with you, but allow him to ejaculate only a little bit.
Yeah, and
once
that's
a week, once every full moon. And in the beginning, you're going, what's the point of that? Put that big O orgasm word behind you, and you might think, well, I'm not going to be doing that, having sex without ejaculation. But if you do that for 1 or 2 days, you'll be addicted, because the pleasure is that much greater when you're a little bit frustrated, I guess is the word, or, that kind of thing.
I mean, you're not the only person to promote this. I mean, I think Byron's a bit of a capital of sacred sexuality. So, books by David Data and, He's sorts
great.
Of different books talk about how for a man to ejaculate, it's kind of, in Chinese medicine, they say it's kind of losing life force.
That's absolutely right.
So it's nothing new, but I guess what you're doing is you're saying, use these exercises, because not only will it make you a better lover, it's going to mean that you're less likely to put in an old folks' home if you
that's true.
Get old and become incontinent.
There's a lot of women that are, like I said, they're feeling non-orgasmic, or, women are yin, so we're freezing cold like ice, and, it takes a lot longer to bring ice to the boil than fire that's already burning. And what I mean is, a yang, fiery, hot male is active and burning like the sun. A healthy male is generally ready to procreate with every desirable woman he sees, and women.
I disagree there. That's not a healthy male. That's a slimy male, surely.
That is also true, but I suppose for the sake of exaggeration,
that's a womanizing male. That's a philandering male. Sorry,
maybe.
I've got on my hobby horse there.
A healthy male, let's say, should generally be active, ready. He's always moving. And a female, her nature is yin. It's dark. It's like the moon. It's freezing like ice. So you come home and you're going, hey, honey, how about it? And I'm your wife, and I'm going, are you kidding? I'm making dinner for the 2 screaming children. I've had a really tough day, and you want to have a little bit of fun with me in the bedroom. Like, that's not going to happen. But if you're doing your pelvic floor exercises regularly and you're a woman, you heat up your libido to match that of a male. If you take the pressure off having an orgasm, you can have lots of little bits of sex for a minute here and a minute there, or 4 hours here and 4 hours there, without ever really being under pressure or losing your energy. And divorce rates are 1 in 2 these days. I think people need to get back into the bedroom, not only for their pelvic floor health, but for, the Taoists always believe that you could have a successful life, but if you don't have success in the bedchamber, you're not even halfway there. And they really align sexual energy to spiritual energy, because actually in that moment of orgasm, you're so close to enlightenment and you're so close to bliss. And the Buddha, I'm telling you now, he was a master of pelvic floor exercises, but then again, that's higher end Kundalini Chi kind of work.
Look, oh dear, this has got out of hand here. We've pushed the outside of the envelope for the whole show. I want to thank you very much for coming in, Lara Erdely. There is one more little chance to win the Dragon's Egg and the book and your website.
pelvicfloorstrength.com.
It's been real. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much.
I hope you've enjoyed this audio program. Change your world. InspirationLounge.com.